Hey there guys, I'm Crowe, the traveling scientist, here in Northern California. Now yesterday I had an interesting discussion about climate change with an American gentleman who is pro-Trump and anti-Paris Climate Agreement. Now, I'm anti-Trump and pro-Paris Climate Agreement, so it was an interesting discussion. Check it out. Hey there guys, I'm here chatting with my American friend Tom, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about climate change. So, Tom, I want to start by asking you about your President, Donald Trump. How do you feel Donald Trump's doing as a president of America?
I think he's doing great.
What about the fact that he's pulling a lot of money out of funding for renewable energy sources, trying to pull America out of the Paris Climate Agreement, and putting a lot of money into fossil fuels, which is bad for the environment? What do you say to that?
Well, I'd say that one of those three assertions is correct. Putting money into fossil fuels. How is he putting money into fossil fuels?
From my understanding, Donald Trump is very pro-coal, which is a particularly dirty fossil fuel.
Okay, so there's a big difference, though, between utilizing a resource that we have and actually committing public funds towards that resource, right? So in other words, I don't think he's subsidizing the industry at all, is he? And you start off by saying, what was your first assertion? I can't remember.
He's taking funding away from research into renewable energy, things like solar, wind power.
I don't think he has.
Okay. Well, so you agree that he is trying to remove America out of the Paris Climate Agreement. So.
Oh no, that's a fait accompli. He has removed it, and I think that was probably one of the reasons why I'm most proud of him, because it's really easy to fulfill campaign pledges. Like we're going to lower your taxes, we're going to do a tax cut, we're doing it all. The politicians come and go and they do that, but it took a real stroke of courage for him to get out of the Paris Climate Accords.
The Paris Climate Agreement is basically, it brings together countries, almost all the countries in the world, uniting them for the cause that is trying to reduce and stop the climate change caused by humans. So by America being such a big, powerful country, being one of the only countries to disagree and pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement, that's kind of that's bad for the environment, is it not?
Why?
Right, so they're doing research into finding out what human impact is on climate change. And it's been shown that since the Industrial Revolution, over 100 years ago, atmospheric carbon dioxide emissions have increased greatly, along with a slowly increasing temperature, which is more rapid than it has been before the Industrial Revolution. And so basically the Paris Climate Agreement has recognized that and is trying to get humankind to do what they can to minimize this human impact on climate change, to try and slow down the increase in temperatures.
And so how are they trying to affect a change?
By reducing human emissions, things like transportation, fossil fuels, agriculture, these things that produce the biggest impact from humans into climate change.
And is it effective?
It will be.
Tell me what plan that they have to reduce anthropogenic carbon emissions.
Through research into renewable energy sources that produce less carbon emissions, by researching more efficient modes of transport, and basically finding ways that we can try and continue to live the lifestyle we live now without causing the pollution that we're currently producing.
Why?
Because it's been shown that climate change has a direct impact on atmospheric temperatures, and those temperatures we can see over the last couple hundred years are slowly rising. If they continue to rise, they're going to cause all sorts of problems, rising sea levels and reduced crop output, reduced depleted food sources. That's going to directly affect human security. Our food security and our way of life is a threat here.
I can tell you that back when Al Gore first made his movie, sea levels right now should be 15 feet higher. But right now, there might be some evidence that sea levels have risen on order of less than an inch.
Okay, well, that's one interesting statistic. What about, it's been a hot summer. Do you think that temperatures aren't increasing to some extent globally?
Why is that going to be harmful?
The hotter temperatures is going to make it more difficult for things like growing food,
Really?
maintaining water supplies.
The empirical evidence out there shows that, guess what? We as a species actually do a whole lot better when the Earth is warmer. So I don't think that empirical evidence really shows that there's necessarily a problem with it.
I think that humans would just like to have more control over the climate rather than having it projected to just increase in temperature and atmospheric carbon emissions increasing and things like that. So I think that the Paris Climate Agreement is working towards having a better understanding and gaining more control over our climate as a protective means for the future generations. It might not be a problem for you or me in 20 or 50 years or something, but maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, there's potential that the temperatures could skyrocket. Sea levels could rise, that they could stay the same. Like you said, the climate models aren't perfect and the science isn't clear, but it seems to be indicating at this point in time that in the future there could be real problems.
I don't think that. I disagree with that. So let's just disagree with that. Let's just say that humans want to be in control, and I think that's part of all this. We always want to control our environment. What is it that the IPCC wants big westernized countries like the United States to do? Well, you just got to reduce your carbon footprint. Look, United States, it's really not fair for you to have your own steel industry. Let all the steel be produced in developing countries like China and India, and let them catch up to you economically. You can go ahead and spew all the carbon out that you want, as long as you pay a tax on it. So we can talk about all the money that the IPCC has absolutely wasted and continues to waste, which is one of the reasons why Donald Trump pulled the United States out of it, and I'm very proud of doing it, because it's an absolute waste of resource. It's a corrupt body. The UN is an inherently corrupt body. I don't believe that it is the best, that you're going to get the best research out of some collective world body with these disparate countries in there as China and India, who are the biggest polluters per capita. It's just a corrupt organization, and I hate to put it to you, but they're absolutely the wrong body in the world to be the one that is setting policy for something as important as alternative fossil fuels. That's just kind of my cut on.
Beautiful. Well, I respect your opinions and I appreciate your time, Tom. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah.
Cool. So there we go, guys. Thanks for watching that interview. So who do you think was right? Do you think that we should be working on climate change and doing everything we can to help the Paris Climate Agreement? Or do you think that America is doing the right thing by pulling out and that the United Nations is really corrupt? Let us know in the comments section down below and subscribe for more traveling science every week. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.